Alrighty. Let's look up Strong's. And we're going to start with 1379. To decree, to subject to authority and regulations, or to bound, border, set boundaries, a primitive root properly, to twist as a rope only as a diminutive form, GBUWO, to bound as by a line, border, set bounds. All right. Now 1397. Gerber, man, men, mans. The Hebrew noun designated a male human being viewed through the lens of strength, vigor, and resolve. While often translated simply man. I want to see more on this one. Hello. Man, men, men's, boy, everyone, warrior. Properly, a valiant man or warrior. A person, simply. Everyone. Man, mighty. Geber, Rebeg. Okay. And the Greek, that is the Greek. Dulesia. Slavery, bondage, the condition of a slave. Now, maybe later. Dagnabbit, quit it. Dolia, slavery, bondage, the condition of a slave. Alrighty. 1739. Building, construction, denotes ornate inlay work, the decorative construction that embeds precious material within a wall or surface. Its single usage in the New Testament. A housing in residence structure, building structure from a compound. Elsewhere, only in Josephus' Antiquities. Revelation 21:18. Wow, towards the very end of the Bible. Built into the wall. Edomesis. En demos. Demos is build. Like the demagogues, the builders, the demiurges, the builders. Okay. 1793, then we reverse that. We're still using the same numbers. We're just putting them in all the different orders. To intercede. It traces a line from flawed human appeals through prophetic lament to the Spirit's groanings and the Son's exalted pleas. To intercede. Egtugchano. Daka. Crushed, contrite. Hebrew writers employ to picture something crushed to define dust, shattered beyond human repair, still precious to God. Okay, 1793. So then we go into 1939, or 37, 1937. Epithumeo, to desire, to long for. A focused longing originating in the will and emotions. A term can express everything from holy aspirations to destructive, desires and lust? Lust, covet, desire, crave, right. To set the heart upon, to long for, rightly or otherwise. Covet, desire, lust after. Nostalgia in Italian. To strongly desire as if to lust after the old ways. In America and in English, it's nostalgia. Oh, it's just that, when you kind of like the way things were before. No, but nostalgia. When I heard the Pope use it in a certain way, I was like, that is lust. That is lust. That's the kind of desire. Okay, 1973. longed for greatly, greatly loved, desired, derivative of the latter part of epipotheo. Hebrew, halia, beyond, further, onward, occurs 16 times, functioning adverbially to signal movement or existence further on, beyond, or from this point forward. And that number relates to me in relationship to being a human being and a father. That number is related to me. Oh, dag nabbit. All right. So we did the 1973. So now we do the 3179. Methystemi. To transfer, to change. Pictures a decisive removal from one sphere into another, whether geographic, political, spiritual, verbal. Does it mean a ball? It's not talking about that. It means realm, sphere and realm, area of expertise. Put out, remove, translate, turn away. Removed, removed, transferred, turned away. To transfer, to carry away, dispose of, figuratively, exchange, seduce. To remove, turn away. Methistano, from meta and histemi. To transfer, carry away, depose, or figuratively exchange, seduce, put out, remove, translate, turn away. To change, pervert, remove, transferred, turned away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 usages. Alrighty. So then we go to 97. 3197. To be precious, to be esteemed, to be valuable. Melki. Greek form of Semitic name derived from the root MLK, king, in Hebrew. That cognate appears in such names as Malchi. Wayside. Yak. To be esteemed valuable. By erroneous transcription. Scribal error for yad. Yechoneya. Verbal form related to the well-attested root to strike, to smite, to wound, or to beat. Although this exact form is unattested in the Hebrew canon. It belongs to the same semantic family that supplies some of the Old Testament's most vivid descriptions of both divine and human action. Acts of judgment, discipline, warfare, and sometimes even deliverance. Okay, he says we're moving on 3719. To rise early, to be up at dawn, or thrizzo. Kathan, to bend, curve, bow down. Bow down. Kathan, bend, bent, to bend. To be hungry, to hunger. Bent, used one time. In Ezekiel 17:7. This vine stretch its roots hungrily towards. It's the way a plant hungered for growing in front of. Wow, that's very interesting, isn't it? Okay. A plant that hungered. And then 901. Kethab, script, writing, edicts. From katab, something written, a writing, record, or book. Register, scripture, writing. Okleo, to trouble, to disturb, to annoy. Refers to pressing someone by carrying them along with the torrential force of a mob. By implication, to harass. It's used one time. Translated into English as afflicted. To disturb, trouble, from okios. Okios? Oxleo. Oxleo. Interesting. Ox harassing Leo. Okay, so we go. I did 19. So 39, 17, 30. I messed it up. Okay, that's right. Night creature, night monster, screech owl, Lilith. Whoa, 39:17 is Lilith? Yeah. Pardalis, leopard, strong Greek, gathers the biblical witness surrounding the leopard into a single climactic picture of end-time opposition to God. I wonder if a human, super angel, demon, human, fake human, superhuman angel, demon, human, tuman. I wonder if that, being built as a weapon against God, has any relevance. I think it does. Okay, did I do 71, right? Blemish, defect, imperfection. Designates a flaw, defect, spot, injury, whether literal or figurative, while its lexical range can include damage. Hold on, I'm trying to. Physically or morally, a blemish. Usually, as a passive participle from an unused root, probably meaning to stain, a blemish, physically or morally. Blemish, blot, spot. It's used once as the word defect in English and the word spot in English. A blemish or a defect. Found in Leviticus, Proverbs, and in Deuteronomy. All right. Words that are related to it. Okay, now we're moving on to the next set of numbers, which is 7139. Karak, to make bald, to be bald. Let's look closer at this one. Karak. Karak. Make bald, make yourself bald, shave his head. To depilate, make self bald. Baldness, made bald, made bald yourself, or shave your head. Okay. 7193. Oh, wait a minute. I led bald. I didn't get into the other one. Kal. No, that's to make bald. Karak. 7139. There is not any more Greek to be had. We are now higher numbers than the Greek lexicon has. So, 7319. Or 7130. Dagnabbit. I already did 7139, right? Yes, that was that. So I was going to be 93. Kaskeseth, scale, denotes the small overlapping plates that form a protective covering. In the Pentateuch, the word refers to the scales of aquatic creatures. Under Neptune, by reduplication from an unused root meaning to shale off as bark. A scale of a fish, hence a coat of mail, as composed of or covered with small jointed plates of metal. Male scale. By reduplication from an unused root meaning to shale off as bark. A scale of fish, hence a coat of mail, as composed of or covered with jointed plates of metal. Male scale. Armor or scales. Okay. 7193. So now we're going to go to 7319. Romema. Exaltation, elevation, lifting up. Conveys the idea of exalted, lofty praise that lifts God high in word, song, and attitude. Though it appears only once, theological weight is carried by the root to be high or exalted, and by the context of which it stands. The climactic praise psalm celebrating the Lord's reign and his people's triumph. Psalm 149. Psalm 149:6 captures the word's entire canonical footprint. May the high praises of God be in their mouths and a double-edged sword in their hands. Here, the word is plural in form, high praises, but singular in focus, public vocal, God-exalting celebration. It functions as a hinge between verses extolling worship, those describing victory over God's enemies. Binds two inseparable biblical convictions. God alone is worthy of the highest praise. Exaltation of God positions his people to share in his triumph by placing high praises of God in the worshipers' throats. Signals that the true elevation of the Lord is not internal sentiment alone, but audible proclamation within the covenant community. Worship and warfare. The pairing of that word with a double-edged sword has long shaped Israel and the church's understanding of spiritual warfare. Praise is portrayed not as a distraction from battle, but as a divinely mandated strategy within it. This pattern is foreshadowed when Jehoshaphat's singers go before the army and the Lord set ambushes. In New Covenant terms, the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God, joins believers' verbal exaltation to God's decisive intervention. Okay. Let's try 7391. Spittle, saliva, meaning and scope. Rock denotes tenderness or softness. From rakak, softly, figuratively, tenderness. Refinement of a delicate tenderness or delicacy of a delicately nurtured woman. Denotes tenderness or softness. A noun drawn from the adjective soft, delicate appears once within the Hebrew canon catalog of covenant curses in Deuteronomy 28. The most gentle and delicate woman among you, who would not venture to set the sole of her foot on the ground because of her delicateness and tenderness, will begrudge the husband she embraces and her own son or daughter. Here, rock accentuates the woman's extreme refinement. Her tenderness is so pronounced that she customarily avoids any harsh contact with the earth, contrasting sharply with the brutal behavior she will exhibit under siege. The term underscores the depths of Israel's coming humiliation. Covenant disobedience would invert even the softest, most compassionate dispositions, revealing the severity of divine judgment. Now we're going to go into 9137. Barak. 913 is Barak. That's funny. Okay. There is no 9-1, but it's funny that something came up. It's very interesting that came up with that. Okay, there is no Hebrew words that are that high either. But it's also funny that basiliskos, belonging to the king, and the word basilisk, or serpent king, is very interesting. Let's look up 70. Let's just see what the old algorithm throws up. Vedan, deliverer of Israel. Gene result, receptor like human. Oh, that's weird. Alright, I'm going to quit this here in a minute. 9317. Royal, belonging to king, compelled force. 9371. Even though it's not really producing too much, it's giving something as a result. Back to the basiliskos, belonging to the king. Okay, 9713. 3. If I can spell it right. Test, examination, tower. 3-1. I don't think it's going to add anything different. Be troubled, to be dismayed, violent man, forceful man. Okay, well, there we have it. And so I went through the numbers. The 1's place first, the 3's place first, the 7's place first, and then the 9's place first. So these are the 24 numbers There really weren't any of those, so there were only 18. Also the number of letters in Barack Hussein Obama. But numbers never mean anything. So Metatron's cube and all of that stuff. I mean, that couldn't possibly mean anything. The paradise is the 1 through 6 that you are have. But the knowledge of good and the knowledge of evil and the things of God that are going to lead you to nothing because we are being controlled. Metatron is kept to 1, 3, 7, 9. You only have a 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do you appreciate? Nothing, nothing, nothing. You need to be made new again. Your hands of change. The 1 plus the 9 is 10, but you only have half of that. 7 plus 3 is 10. 2 plus 8 is 10. 4 plus 6 is 10, but you only have half of that because you are not a man but a worm. Metatron's cube is 1, 3, 7, 9. Those are the 4 numbers applied to the cube that fakes the 8 of the split vertices of the 24, because a cube, remember, a cube is one thing. It has 6 sides because there are 3 dimensions. And in those 3 dimensions, there are opposing sides. So that's 6 sides. And it has 8 vertices. It has 12 edges, but I can trace it in one direction or I can trace it in the other direction. So the dark and light of it is there are 24 directions. And although these have more figurative meanings, I think, but these all had words which might apply to the problem of being a superhuman angel demon and in Saturn's black cube and being controlled by Metatron, if you want to use that name, Lucifer, Samael, whatever. There we go. Now we can come over here and end this. Study to show yourselves approved men and workwomen who need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.